Good evening. This is Agro News Network. Recently, Kelantan has reported a mysterious case where chicken were eating non-stop, yet they are still acting hungry. Is this a national crisis or is just normal chicken behavior? To help us understand this, today we have two veterinary professionals to help us to understand more on avian digestive system. Joining us here is Dr. No and Dr. Fei. Welcome.
Hi.
So, doctor, can you briefly explain how digestion works in chicken?
Sure. Unlike humans, chicken doesn't have teeth, cheeks, and lips. So they rely on really specialized digestive tract to break down food efficiently. So the process starts from the beak and ends at a cloaca. Basically, an exit one system for everything. To make it easier, here are some of the puzzles that we will visualize in this whole process.
So, how is it possible to chew without teeth?
That's the thing. They don't. Chicken just grab and swallow with the beaks replacing those teeth. Prehension is aided with the oropharynx, which is surrounded dorsally and ventrally by the beak that contains a lot of sensory corpus.
The tongue is located on the ventral side and does not move that much. It is supported by the ankylosing and has a weak intrinsic muscles. Like other animals, it has both gustatory taste and mechanical papillae.
What about salivary glands? I heard that they are very well developed in carnivores.
Yeah, you are right. They are actually located in the upper and lower jaws, also at the angle of the mouth and also at the tongue.
What happens after swallowing?
Food travels down to the esophagus into the crop, which acts like a temporary storage pouch. The cervical part of the esophagus, above or dorsal to the trachea, on the right side of the neck. It then moves below or ventral to the lungs and heart. And then it enters the proventriculus around the third and fourth intercostal stage.
For the next part, it is the proventriculus. As you can see, it is here just below the crop. Essentially, this is where all the chemical digestion begins. In the proventriculus, tubular glands will secrete HCl, pepsinogen, and also intrinsic factors to help with all the chemical digestion.
For the next part, we are going to play with a little stones. Can you guess what it is?
I've heard about this one. The gizzard, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. The gizzard is a grinding organ that replacing the teeth in the avian. It contains grit. What is grit? Grit is like a little stones that aid the mechanical digestions and muscles such as the thick caudodorsal muscle, thick cranioventral muscles, and thin craniodorsal muscles, and thin caudodorsal muscles.
I see. What about?
Oh, so about the liver, it's actually a large bilo organ that is located just, as you can see here, cranial to the gizzard. And it actually produced by, like we mentioned earlier. And below the right lobe of the liver, we can see the gallbladder here. It is like a pouch-like organ that will actually store the bile that is produced by the liver earlier, and you will actually release the bile to the duodenum, and the tract will continue as the jejunum and ileum.
Oh yeah, I almost forget about these things. Did you know, between the jejunum and ileum, we have like a small pouch that is called a mucous reticulum.
So how does the liver attach to the abdominal cavity?
That's a very good question. Actually, there are a few attachments on the liver with the surrounding organs. The oblique septum extensions have the duodenal ligaments and the falciform ligaments.
So what happened in the Cecas? Is it the usual fermentation?
So actually, for chicken, they have two ceca that is connected to the ileum by ileocecal ligament. The ceca is actually used for limited microbial fermentation and cellulose digestion in order for granivores and herbivores to actually produce VFA or volatile fatty acids. This tract then continues as the colon or large intestine, which is not really well developed, and will continue as the rectum and follow as the cloaca.
And finally?
The cloaca. Waste from the digestive, urinary, and reproductive systems all exist here, with coprogeum, urogeum, and proctidium segments.
That's a multitasking champion. But of course, reading about gizzards and crops is one thing. Seeing them in real life is another thing. Let's go live into the scene where things are about to get a little intense.
Yes, thank you. My name is Zoe, and we're here to scene with two veterinary professionals, Dr. Grace and Dr. Hui, and the subject of today's investigation, a very cooperative chicken.
Why are the doctors here? I only ate one worm.
As we all know, dissecting is very different from just learning theory in classes. Today, we'll be exploring the digestive tract more closely with our veterinary experts. Would you like to see what your digestive system looks like, Mr. Chicken?
Wait, isn't that my friend Ahmad?
And thanks to Ahmad. Now we can observe from the beak, tongue, esophagus and the craw. As you can see, it is the dilated portion of the esophagus before entering the body cavity in charge of temporary storage, softening and pre-digestion of the feed.
This feels so wrong, but these structures are well developed for my grain-eating bird friends. In pigeons, crop milk is also produced for feeding the young.
Now the stomach can be classified into parenchiculus and also gizzard as mentioned before. The parenchiculus lies against the liver and cranially to the gizzard on the left side of the bird.
Yeah, and my ventriculus is located on the left of the intestinal peritoneal sac, which is between the proventriculus and the duodenum.
Now we move to the small intestine, which is relatively shorter compared to mammals, but still highly efficient due to the presence of villi for the nutrient absorption. So the first part is the duodenum. It forms a U-shaped loop, but you can see the pancreas located within it.
Oh, and over here, the large brown organ above must be the liver, right?
Yes, exactly. The liver is located ventral to the sternum and in contact with the lungs. And just beneath its right lobe, you can see the little green gallbladder here. Both of them release bile into the duodenum.
That's interesting, but how is the duodenum connected to the ileum?
Its macrodiverticulum is a little protrusion to differentiate from the duodenum and ileum. And over here, we have the large intestine.
Oh, I remember reading that actually for avians that have two ceca connected to the ileum by the ileocecal ligament, right?
Yeah, double ceca is double microbial fermentation. After that, the digesta moves into the rectum, leading to the cloaca.
The cloaca is a common chamber for the digestive, urinary and reproductive system. The coprodume receives the fecal material, the urodume receives the urine and reproductive products, while the proctodume is the final segment that opens to the outside. In males, the cloaca also contains the copulatory organ.
Okay, the last part was definitely too much information.
And there you have it, the avian digestive system, from nutrient absorption all the way in the intestine to the multifunctional cloaca. I'll give it back to you, Carmen.
Thank you for that eye-opening report. Today, we have learned that chicken may seem simple, but their digestive system are highly specialized and efficient, especially compared to the mammalians. This is brought to you by Agro News Network. Stay tuned to our next episode on the avian respiratory tract. See you. Bye.
NANI?お前はもう死んでいる。え